Welcome back, fight fans, to another episode of GTS Combat. And yo, I'm here today just to talk on a topic. Haven't got any highly anticipated matchup that I'm looking ahead to and I'm going to break down for you guys. Well, there is a potential fight on the cards, but not just yet. Today we're looking into what is Khabib waiting for? We're all wondering, is Khabib retired? Is he coming back out of retirement? Is he going to rematch Conor McGregor? And that's what I believe we're going to be getting. I believe Khabib is waiting for the outcome of this weekend's fight between McGregor and Dustin Poirier. And as long as McGregor wins, he'll give him that rematch. That's what I think is going to happen, because he said he's waiting to see if anyone does anything impressive, if anyone does anything that impresses him in this weekend's card between McGregor and Dustin Poirier, but also the co-main event he touched on between Dan Hooker and Michael Chandler. But let's be honest, people, he's already defeated Dustin Poirier quite recently. Do we see much of a storyline, of any talking points between a rematch between Dustin Poirier and Khabib? I don't believe so. I don't believe that would interest Khabib at all. There's no real incentive for Khabib to take that rematch with Dustin Poirier. There's a small amount of financial gain, you know, pretty average financial gain for that matchup. There's not going to be a massive pay-per-view box office for that fight. So it's not going to be any crazy money that Khabib's not been used to for that fight. So I don't believe he has that incentive. He gets the 30-0, but it's against an opposition that he's already beat very comfortably. And like I said, there's no actual real attraction or hype to the fight to get him motivated for it. So I just don't see that attracting Khabib to come out of retirement just to fight Dustin Poirier again, who he's fought quite recently, like I said. And then you got Dan Hooker and Michael Chandler. Are they really going to be two guys that he's going to say, yep, I'm coming out of retirement for? I'm not so sure. Let's be honest, there's not going to be a massive amount of excitement. Even if Dan Hooker knocked Michael Chandler clean out, there's not going to be a massive amount of excitement of Dan Hooker versus Khabib. There just isn't. So, especially when you got to consider Dan Hooker lost to Dustin Poirier, and Dustin Poirier's in the main event against Conor McGregor, and Dustin Poirier recently lost to Khabib, but then since beat Dan Hooker. So, if you followed that trail, you'll understand that I just don't see any real attraction or hype coming towards a fight between Dan Hooker and Khabib. Dan Hooker, if he beats Michael Chandler, would at least need one or two more fights for a title shot with anyone, let's be honest. And especially if he beats a Michael Chandler, because again, you could easily just brush it off as Michael Chandler's from Bellator. So he obviously wasn't made for these levels. And then that discredits Dan Hooker's win. And then that really would downplay any potential fight between him and Khabib or any potential title shot. So I don't see that being the avenue that Khabib is going to go down either. I don't believe that's going to be of any interest to him. And then you got Michael Chandler. Now, Michael Chandler is a bit of a wild card here because he was previously booked as the backup for Khabib versus Justin Gaethje. So he was potentially going to fight Khabib. So Khabib would have had a minute amount of his brain cells focused on Michael Chandler in that kind of training camp. Just in the back of his head is, if anything happens to Justin Gaethje, I've got to fight this dude. So he would have had a small amount of attention paid towards Michael Chandler. So he's going to be somewhere in Khabib's thoughts. But again, I don't believe that is a matchup that really interests or intrigues him. I believe it was just, oh, he's the backup, so I may have to fight him, and I'll probably steamroll through him anyway. So yeah, Michael Chandler, if he does put on a very impressive performance, though, he does put his name up in the mix, because he was a former Bellator champion. I know he's coming from Bellator, and people always want to say, well, is Bellator on the same sort of levels of the UFC? Well, if he can steamroll and just put on a dominant performance against Dan Hooker, and an impressive performance, and maybe even get some sort of highlight reel finish, or even just, some crazy submission or anything, or just devastating ground and pound, just something that sticks in our head, then potentially he can cause some sort of avenue to create a storyline, say that I'm the best in the UFC, I'm going to take over and all this. He could start going down that sort of route, and he potentially needs one more fight to get a title shot, but if it is against Khabib, because in my opinion, he's not leapfrogging Conor McGregor if Conor McGregor gets the win. So the reason I believe he's waiting is because Conor McGregor has been saying a lot of stuff along the lines of, I'm the best, I'm going to prove I'm the best. Even if Khabib doesn't want to come back, I'll prove I'm the best of the current crop and I'm levels ahead of them. Now, Khabib said he doesn't want to rematch Conor McGregor because he doesn't want to give him any extra shine, doesn't want to elevate McGregor's stock in any way, he doesn't want to raise his profile. And Khabib's got enough money that he just doesn't need that fight, so he doesn't want to give McGregor that sort of profile, he doesn't want to elevate his stock like I just said. He's got no reason to do so, but all of a sudden, McGregor's saying stuff like, well, you beat the worst of me, but I had the best performance against any of your former opponents, and I was the worst version of me. So now that kind of discredits Khabib's performance against McGregor and how bad McGregor looked in a way, because McGregor did have some small moments that other opponents haven't had against Khabib. He stopped a few of Khabib's takedowns. He won a round against Khabib, which no one has ever done. I know it's debatable, but a judge gave him one of the rounds against Khabib. So, for that reason, if Khabib just straight up retires, and then McGregor beats Dustin Poirier, and then beats whoever next for the belt, for the vacated belt, and then defends it, and then let's say he does just hang around for a bit and dominates any opponent that they put in front of him. Now, all of a sudden, he can just come out and say, well, he can start comparing almost like, I beat him quicker than you. And let's be honest, McGregor probably will defeat a lot of these guys quicker than Khabib just due to style. Because he won't try drag them to the ground. He'll just try, run straight through them. And then all of a sudden he can start, saying, well, like I said, you beat a drunken version of me when I was on my whiskey and I wasn't motivated, I wasn't focused. So, but now look where I am. I'm at the top of the game. I would beat you in the rematch. That's basically what McGregor's saying. And a lot of people could buy into that. And I don't think Khabib will want to allow McGregor to have that sort of shine, especially with his vacated belt. So I believe Khabib will allow McGregor, because he's currently booked for Dustin Poirier. There's no point saying I'll give him the rematch yet. He's saying I'll wait for the outcome. I'll wait to see if anyone does anything impressive. Basically saying if McGregor gets the win, he'll probably fight him. And then in doing so, he wants to shut McGregor's hype straight back down, put him back in the box where Khabib left him, eating his humble pie. And Khabib can get that 30, with a big name fight, a big money fight, and, a mega fight to round off his career, to end off his career, to cap off his career. And I believe that is what Khabib is waiting for. So let me know your thoughts. What is Khabib doing? He said he's waiting. He was going to have this chat with Dana. He had the chat, and when he had the chat, he basically said, I'm going to wait for the weekend. And that is what I took from it. Seeing McGregor's comments, seeing the sort of the layout of the lightweight division, where everyone is sitting. I believe that is what Khabib's going to do. I don't believe he's going to get the GSP fight anymore. I believe that's sort of been and gone. That opportunity is not going to happen, I don't see. And I just don't see any other opponent really being worth his while. I don't see any fight interesting him to get that 30-0 for. Other than the McGregor rematch, especially with the comments that McGregor's saying to almost discredit the first fight. And that will obviously elevate his profile even if Khabib retires, to say, look, I was in a bad spot, now look what I'm doing, I'm the best there is. And I don't believe Khabib wants to allow McGregor to have that kind of shine and have that moment and have that kind of profile within the lightweight division and within almost the history books. So yeah, that's my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, where Khabib is going with his career. Is he going to stay retired? Is he going to come back out of retirement? And is it going to be for Conor McGregor and that mega fight? I've been your boy Jimmy. This has been GTS Combat. Like, comment, share and subscribe. Till next time.